So we're down in the town of Kryvyi Luka, I think that's how it's pronounced. This town was right on the front line of that red, like, occupied, liberated territory of Ukraine. And you can see behind me that this min, that means mines. So I'm not going to go any further than this thing right behind me because that's where the mines are, although the guy rode the bike straight through. But behind you can see the big smoke cloud coming up and you can hear shelling. That's in somewhere called Ozern or Ozerny, which has only just been liberated by the Ukrainians within the last 24 hours. So we've come down here. The Ukrainians have been doing that offensive, which has been well known down in the south on that Kherson Oblast, but the media there, you really can't get there and there's a media blackout on that area. But only yesterday, in the past 48 hours, there's been people saying that, well, they're actually going to do an offensive also on the east. And today in here, I'll show you the map because it's an interesting location they've taken. I can't see why it's been taken, but obviously there was some tactical advantage, but they've taken that and liberated that town of Ozerny back into Ukrainian held territory. So it's very interesting, but I'm not going to cross something that says Mins without some idea of what's going on. But back up the hill and I'll show you some footage and I'll keep up to date with as the situation goes. We've just been discussing why we think this mine sign's here, and there's a bridge from the map just through here, and that bridge crossed the Seversky Donetsk River, and basically across that river is all the Russian held positions. We're basically in a bit of like a dick shape that's come in, and Russians are on pretty much on three sides, although it is fairly quiet. You can hear a bit of shelling going on here and there, but it is a little bit quieter down here from the shelling, which is actually very surprising. But we think these mines are probably not on the side of the road, although probably he's not great with mines, but we think it's probably more the bridge that is mined. I just heard then, I'm not sure if Stefan behind the camera heard, I think I just heard some small arms fire, but very faint, so fair way away. But it's an interesting thing, and we'll see as these offensives go, if they'll expand out or continue pushing it in like a sausage formation. We'll see what their final objective here is. Out here is very, very battle-scarred earth, and the Russians were right up in here at one point, and now it seems like, at least in this area, they're getting pushed back and back, and the ground is recovering as we're coming through the valley here. We said we were here a few weeks ago on the way to Seversk, and everything was just burnt out from fires, and the grass has started coming back through, as I guess the Ukrainians have been gaining some ground here. Whether this is a push to take and hold ground and keep pushing, or it's a taking while the opportunity is there. Maybe Russia's reinforcing down into the south and the opportunity to take some land is there. We don't know. It's been, the media blackout has been so hard to tell what's actually going on here and there, but it will be one of those things to keep watching, and if Ukraine can keep pushing back the Russians in the Donetsk Oblast. I'm in the city of Mykolaiv, what is right on the edge of the Kherson Oblast and Kherson City, which there's a massive Ukrainian counteroffensive in at the moment. Now, a lot of people are searching for updates on this, but for the past 3 or 4 days, and for the next 3 or 4 days, there's been a complete media blackout on any reporting of this counteroffensive in Kherson. And I guess that raises a lot of questions, and it raises what is going on, and it's let the propaganda absolutely run wild. And the propaganda I'm talking about is the Russian propaganda. If you go through the Russian Telegram groups, any of the Russian state media, you don't know whether it's propaganda or not. But they've taken this opportunity for the lack of reporting from the Ukrainian side to just spin up that propaganda machine and pump out so much that you would think the counteroffensive from the Ukrainians here, you would think that it's going absolutely so bad if you take in all that Russian propaganda, because there's nothing else filtering it back out the other side. So it's really hard to peer through and see what's going on. But the media blackout, it's hard. And in this day and age, freedom of press, operational security, and all of this is such a hard thing to get around. You know, I am a massive believer in the freedom of press, but press used to be, you'd write an article and it would come out in the paper in a week. The problem is now you can film something, like I can film this, put it on the computer and upload it within 10 minutes, or I can film it on my phone and upload it in 30 seconds. So that time frame that has become so much shorter can actually start really going into feeding out like live updates, live operational security breaches, and could affect the men on the ground and how this war goes and this counteroffensive. Behind me is the Soldiers Liberators World War II Soviet Memorial. As you can see on the Soviet Memorial, Ukrainian flags hung on it. And I was just thinking before, while the air raids are going off, that it's probably not the first time this memorial has been amongst air raid sirens going off. We had to take a quick pause from the filming. But as I was saying, this counteroffensive is so important for Ukraine to succeed in. I think the people here need a win. There hasn't been too much positive news recently, so I think people here, and even just the morale around this war, needs to show a bit of a win, needs to show that they can take back land and hold it. And the reporting from really good sources has been literally zero. I'm so surprised how well this media blackout has actually worked. There's been no one posting on TikTok, no one on Instagram, and it's been unbelievably successful, this blackout. So I guess we may see more and more of these blackouts come, although the freedom of media in that front is really poor anyway, due to the reasons I said as well. So last night it got fairly loud in the city, but there's no damage as we can see. We're not sure what it was, whether it was Ukraine, Russia. It was just noise. Yesterday I headed out on a humanitarian mission, completely separate from the filming thing, and they were very, very serious about media. They checked all our phones before going in, went through the photos, and like, well, what is this, are you press? Like, no, we're not on this one. And when we came back out, they rechecked us to see if we'd taken any photos while we just visited into sort of some of the towns close, but not even that far out. So it is very tight here at the moment, and in 3-4 days, once that media blackout opens, I guess we'll start filtering down information to see what was actually happening and what success either side has had in this. But at the moment, no one knows. Some may ask why I'm filming in this sort of area during the media blackout. Well, the media blackout rules was on reporting on the Kherson offensive. Now, I'm not in Kherson City or Kherson Oblast, I'm in Mykolaiv, and I'm not reporting directly on anything to do with the offensive. I'm talking about the blackout, which the blackout was directly released to the public and to all media, as well as there's nothing to stop me filming in the city and just talking about my experiences while I'm here.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.